Hey y'all, it's been a while since I've done one of these videos, but Eric made an interesting little video that he has now actually taken down as of today. Or maybe it was yesterday, I don't know, but I noticed it's not there anymore as I was fixing to do this video, so I haven't cleared the cache from my thing. But there's an error in the Sense UI that HTC has added on Android. Now, this is not an Android issue, this is a Sense UI issue. And it's not even really that major of a one. So it makes you wonder why he made it iPhone versus Android. But I think he's taken it down because he realized, that might have been a mistake. Because the type of responses he's been getting out of y'all are, it's like, let me just read the comments. I can't go through all of them, son, but it's like, nice video, Eric. I agree with you that HTC is a load of junk. It doesn't have the features where it drops bars when making a call. Applesoldier really needs to talk about how Apple fucked up on this issue, period. He'll read articles that show that bad things about Android phones, however, all the iPhone 4 problems don't get read to us. Agreed. Major problems with iPhone 4, signal strength, and Apple blames the user? Yeah, now, hence this comment. Problems are going to happen. What pisses me off is Apple's response to this. Steve Jobs said, just hold the phone different. And the guy goes on for a little bit. Somebody else goes on about the privacy thing, pointing out, well, it's just basically snapping at everything Apple just did, saying, oops, I'm sorry, that's Apple, not HTC. And here's somebody who I think is honestly, genuinely being earnest. They're not bashing, they're just pointing out are you serious? You want to attack Android when the iPhone just did this, Eric? It's like this person said, I'm a huge fan of Apple products, but the iPhone 4 antenna problems are just unforgivable. Why on earth would Apple get the product on the market with this problem? Unforgivable. And in this last one here, HTC handsets are junk. At least they work. Again, studying back to the phone antenna problem. For those of you who don't know what this problem is, what the Sense UI does to have thumbnails of web pages for bookmarks and other stuff is it just periodically takes a snapshot of what's in the browser. So if you bookmark it or something, it can keep these thumbnails up to date and have a little cached version to load quickly while you're waiting for the page to load and other stuff. Inherently, this isn't a bad feature. The problem is it saves these things. Now, up until recently, Android phones did all of this stuff on the SD card, which wasn't a problem. And this was how the Sense UI was designed to take advantage of this. The Incredible is one of the new series of phones where you have both an SD card and an internal memory, and because it's better to save it to the internal memory, they're saving and caching this stuff to the internal memory. The problem is it doesn't get deleted even when you do a reset. This wouldn't have been a problem with the SD cards. It is a problem with the internal memory, but all it is the equivalent of a screen grab. It's the equivalent of catching this. It's like if you were to hit print screen and get that, it saves that. It's not this, password loggers and everything that Apple fanboys are making it out to be. But it is potentially an issue. But again, there's the difference. There's the real side. HTC came front and center and goes, we acknowledge we fucked up. We're releasing, and that's the part he left out, and I'm going to leave the link for those instructions, but they said we fucked up. We're releasing detailed instructions on how a completely non-technical person can do wipe media, and it's real simple. It's 3 steps. Go here, do this, do that. For those of you who are really concerned about this and want to wipe your phones right now and do it every day until we get that patch that we will get out as soon as possible. I expect this to be patched by the end of next month. I really do. And that's so much better than Apple's response to problems like this. To have your founder and CEO go out there and go, well, you're holding it wrong. You see, you have to hold it like this. Not like you want to hold it. You can't hold it that way. That's the wrong way. We didn't design it for you to hold it that way. So, I think that's why he took it down. But I have it here, and I'm gonna tail it on to the end of this video, and so y'all can see. So, like, am I the only one who thinks this video is lopsided? So I hope y'all enjoy, and I look forward to feedback from y'all.
HTC incredibly insecure. Here's something that could keep Droid Incredible users up nights, and maybe anyone who has HTC Sense UIs installed on a phone. Our friends over at Boy Genius Report have discovered that the Sense UI bookmark widget takes periodic screenshots of the web browser. That makes sense as a way to effectively preload a possible bookmark before you create it. However, once you leave the page unbookmarked, the Incredible doesn't delete the screen grab, it saves it. Not only that, it saves it in a place that's very difficult to clear out. Boy Genius tried it on multiple phones and found that the images saved to a folder named .bookmark_thumb1 buried within the eMMC folder of the phone internal storage were not even deleted by a hard reset, returning the phone to factory defaults. Like cockroaches, you can microwave the phone clean and those screen grabs will still remain. That's just ridiculous. iPhone has just owned the Android phones, or at least the HTC phones. It says reports indicate that if you know where they are, you can go in using the File Explorer and delete them one by one manually. But one can assume that less than 1% of users would think to do that, even if they knew how. Considering that it's quite possible that these screen grabs could show passwords, login information, financial details, etc., it essentially means that the Droid Incredible has a keystroke logger built right in, just waiting to be harvested. For example, say you use the phone for a year, sell it off used, someone buys up all the cheap secondhand Incredibles and harvests the images at their leisure and sees what they find. Ka-ching. Beyond the danger to Incredible users, the question remains if this is consistent with other HTC phones at the Sense UI, like the Aries and Desire. For the moment, I would have to say the HTC phones use them at your own risk, and for God's sake, don't do any banking on one. Lots of people are taking BGR to task, saying that they are stored on the SD card, not the internal memory. They are then yelling that, so what? Everyone moves the SD before selling the phone, and the entire thing is an Apple fanboy-inspired Android smear. My view is internal storage or SD, I do not want anything snapping grabs of my browser activity. I just don't like the concept. So, Android, you just got fucking owned. Or at least HTC did. This is exactly why I love the App Store and its approval process. And as old as the concept is, in your fucking face, guys. Android, HTC, fuck you. You've been fucking owned, and this is exactly why I'll never buy none of your fucking products. Go buy a real phone. It's called an iPhone. OS X, brothers.